Welcome again to the Money GPS. Today, what I'm going to talk to you about is something that I've mentioned many times in the past. And that's something that Mark Faber is saying right now and has said many, many times before. We are in a speculative bubble. So, what's he talking about here? He is talking about all the hot money that has flooded into different asset classes. And I'll get into a few of those right now. The first thing I want to mention to you is the Money GPS is a strategy for wealth preservation. It's not what a lot of the other individuals are out there, how to make money in the next 8 hours and all these sort of penny stocks and all kinds of things like this. This is wealth preservation because the people who are subscribed to this channel, chances are you are aware that a collapse is imminent. So I intend on helping people with preparing for that. So let's take a look at a few things that Mark Faber has said here. He's talking about a massive speculative bubble that has encroached on everything from stocks and bonds to Bitcoin and farmland. He has attributed the vast bubble to symptoms of excess liquidity. And this excess liquidity, he's talking about specifically the Federal Reserve. So the Federal Reserve has pumped in tens of trillions of dollars into the economy. And of course, the money has to make it somewhere. So much of it does sit in the banks doing nothing, but a lot of that does get pushed out into the economy somewhere. Although it cannot be controlled, it has a way of making its way out there. So one of the things that he was talking about was farmland. Farmland has gone up 10 times over the last decade, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look here. So if the stimulus programs of the Federal Reserve's massive bond buying purchases and super low interest rates continue. Super low interest rates. So again, things I've said many, many times before. Now, can the market go up another 20% before it tumbles? Yeah, it can go up even more if you print money. And this is something that I've said many, many times before, because if you print enough money, sure, the Dow Jones can go 16, 17, 20, 100,000, as it has in other stock markets around the world. But what happens along the way is a devaluation of the dollar. So why do you care what the Dow Jones is at? That makes no sense at all. You care how much wealth you have, essentially. And this is one of the things that I talk about many times throughout my book. It is not important to look at that number. Look at how much wealth we have. And what's going to happen if your dollar gets destroyed as it is going in that direction, you are going to be left in the dust. You need to be able to prepare for yourself. So if you put all your money into gold, for example, it's not a good idea. Bitcoin, not a good idea. Now, a lot of people are talking about Bitcoin. I'll get into it in another video. I know there are a bunch of people that were commenting on that and want to know my perspective. So I will cover that in another video. Just let me get to one more point in this one here. So he was talking about the PE ratios are out of whack. Now they're not to the how they were back in the dot-com boom, but they are heading in that direction. And basically what he's saying is farmland is up 10 times over the last 10 years. And Bitcoins are up now, and who knows how far they'll go. So once again, he's talking about speculative bubbles, and this is a big danger for the average investor. Remember that when a guy like Warren Buffett gets in on a stock, that is not an indication that you should get in on that, because he is using insider sweetheart deals that you and I cannot get. So we need to play it safe in many aspects. And if you want to do something like a Bitcoin, then use a small percentage of your money, and remember that it is not really something that you would necessarily want to pass down to your children and grandchildren, but perhaps something that you can use to make some money on and do daily transactions with. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.